Elevation of 6,559 feet. We will arrive at 10,378 feet above sea level. That's just below 4,000 feet of altitude change. Due to the high altitude change, if any of you start to feel dizzy or nauseous, please bring it to my attention right away. We are going to reach a max speed of 13.6 miles per hour, and it is going to take us 15 minutes to get to the top. On our way to the top of the mountain, there will be 2 blue towers we cross over. When we cross over those towers, the tram car is going to swing and sway. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. If I don't know the answer to something, I will pretend to. Alright, if you're looking out either side of the tram car, you'll see a small hiking trail. That hiking trail does end at our first tower, and that's because it was the original service road to Tower 1. We did get service trucks and even cranes up that road. Speaking of Tower 1, we are coming up on it. It does stand 232 feet tall with an additional 40 feet cemented into the mountain, and it does lean towards Albuquerque at an 18-degree angle, the same angle the Leaning Tower of Pisa leans at, although ours leaning was intentional. Alright, just to give everyone an idea of how it looks to be deceiving from our tram car, if you're looking out my side, you see this large boulder perched on top of this hill. We call that Golf Ball Rock because it looks like a golf ball being prepared to tee off. Golf Ball Rock is twice the size of this tram car. And if you're looking out the opposite side to the top of that hill, you'll see what we call Cannon Rock, and Cannon Rock is the same size as the tram car. Do keep an eye out for wildlife. Some of the things you have a chance to see: we do have black bear, mule deer, bobcats, mountain lions, golden eagles, red-tailed hawks, turkey vultures, turkeys, and everyone's favorite rattlesnakes. Now, if you're looking out my side of the tram, you can see this large rock standing vertically straight up. We call that one Fish Rock. As we go over, you'll see a little mouth and a fin sticking out. Fish Rock is actually 3 stories tall when standing next to it. Where's the fish rock? This flat one right here standing straight up, right to the side of us. And if you're looking out the opposite side, towards the top of the water ravine, you'll see a stack of rocks. We call that Totem Pole Pinnacle. Totem Pole Pinnacle is 6 stories tall, and it's actually just one single rock that has been weathered over time. Now coming up right in front of us is called Critical Point. The rocks right here are a lot more jagged compared to the rest of the mountain, and the reasoning for that is because we blew up this part of the mountain with dynamite to make room for the tram car. No animals were harmed in the making of the tram.
That's a lie.
Now, if you're looking west or behind us where the sun's setting, you'll see a large mountain that's called Mount Taylor. Mount Taylor is an ancient volcano. On the outskirts of Albuquerque, you can see some black shadowy hills. Those are called the lava cliffs. That's ash left over from when Mount Taylor originally erupted. Just north of Mount Taylor in the purple reddish sunlight is Mount Cabazon. Mount Cabazon is an ancient volcano core 50 miles northwest of Albuquerque.
I'm sorry, how far are we?
50 miles. A lot. As we start to get higher, you'll see there's no trail or road leading up here, and that's because the rest of the tram was completed by helicopters. It did take over 5,000 helicopter trips to complete this entire tram, and 2,000 of the trips were dedicated just to our second tower. That's because Tower 2 was built at the base and then brought up in pieces. It does stand 80 feet tall with an additional 40 feet cemented into the mountain, and it does not lean at an angle.
Is this one larger than the one recently built in Copper Canyon?
Yes. This is the second largest in the world. We are coming up on Tower 2. If you thought Tower 2 was the end, you were wrong. It's not even halfway yet. If you don't know whether or not you're afraid of heights, you're going to find out as soon as we pass it. We are on this side of the tower, so I need everyone to lift one leg so we can make it over these rocks right here. Or we could all try to jump at the same time.
Don't breathe.
Short on storage. All right, our sister tram cart is preparing to pass us on the south side. As soon as we meet them, that will mark halfway, or about another 7 minutes. We are going to be slowing down to allow them to cross over towers just as we did, because we are on the same haul cable as they are. Yeah,
They didn't slow down.
I'm sorry?
They didn't slow down.
Oh, no, they slow down when we go to the towers, and then we'll slow down right about now. All right, we are crossing over one of 3 canyons. This one here is called Big Canyon. Big Canyon does hold our highest point off the ground during our journey. At this point, we're approximately 962 feet up off the ground, or about 8 seconds down. Ah, there it is.
Do you have base jumpers come up here?
We don't. Unfortunately, the Sandias, with the way they're built and everything, it wouldn't work. And the only part that you could maybe base jump is right here. But like I said, because the way it's sloped and everything, it just wouldn't work for jumping off. We do have hang gliders and paragliders though. If anyone's wondering if you can rock climb the Sandias, the answer is yes. The cliff face in front of us to the left is our most famous cliff face to climb. It's called Eagle Boost Point. The trick to the Sandias, though, is that it is a decaying mountain, which means it's slowly falling apart. So you are not allowed to use any equipment on the Sandias. It has to all be free climb.
How many a year?
I'm not sure. It just really depends. It's hit or miss with how many people we have climbing and everything. We haven't seen any climbers this year, so.
How many last year?
I don't know how many last year. I'm sorry?
No pun intended when you said hit or miss.
Yeah, no.
Have you ever hiked up here yourself?
Yes, I have.
Yes. How long did it take you?
About 4 hours. All right, we are in the second of 3 canyons. This one here is called Echo Canyon. Echo Canyon does have a lot more greenery to it, and that's because Echo Canyon does have a year-round waterfall and stream. Unfortunately, because of how high up we cannot see it, but this is the canyon that you do get to see black bears during the warm summer months. Some of the greenery you're seeing is oak, spruce, pine, and bear grass. Just to give everyone an idea of how high up we are, the trees you're looking at are actually 150 feet tall. Now, a small known fact about the Sandias is because the feldspar located in the granite during sunset, it gives the rocks a pink orangish hue. With that pink orangish hue and the pine trees lining the base of the mountain, it reminded the Spaniards of watermelon, leading them to name it the Sandias. Although it did used to be called the Turtle Mountain, because from the east side it does look like a turtle laying on its back. So right now we are riding the watermelon tram on the Watermelon Mountain to the Watermelon Peak, but of course that all sounds a lot cooler in Spanish. And we are in the third and final canyon. This one here is called Domingo Baca Canyon. If you're looking at the opposite side of the tram car and you look towards the top, you can see where the limestone meets the granite, otherwise where the dark end of the mountain meets the light end, or kind of where it looks like the pine trees get cut off in a straight line. That's where the La Luz Trail is. The La Luz Trail starts at the base of the mountain, goes all the way to the top. It's 7.9 miles if you start at the base of the La Luz, or 9.2 if you cross over from the tram. It does take 3.5 to 5 hours to complete one way.
How much of the year is this snow covered?
It just really depends. It's really hit or miss with snow here. This year we got a total of 104 inches, but 2 years ago we didn't even open our ski slopes because we didn't have enough snow. So it's just really depends. Now, if you're looking at the opposite side of the tram car, you look to the edge of that limestone peak, you can maybe see that square structure sticking out. That's called Kiwanis Cabin. It was built in 1933 as a shelter for hikers, and in 1936 the Kiwanis Club took over. You can still hike there and camp there. Unfortunately, it has been damaged by graffiti and unwanted visitors. That cabin is made out of the same limestone that the mountain's made out of. It's actually the third cabin to be built there. The first two were built out of wood. The first cabin caught a lightning strike and burnt down, and the second cabin caught a gust of wind and blew off the mountain altogether. Finally, they got smart and built the third one out of stone, kind of like the Three Little Pigs, and here it stands today. It is 1.5 miles from our upper terminal, or a 3-mile round trip, so a nice, easy hike. If you do plan to go hike over there, do not climb on the cabin. It has recently been considered a national monument, and it's a minimum $500,000 fine. All right, so we are approaching the Four Seasons Visitor Center, which is also the upper terminal. There may be some bumping as we come into the dock up here. Just don't let it catch you off guard. If you're looking for the High Finance restaurant, you'll just follow the red boardwalk. It'll take you straight to the restaurant, and you can't miss it. It's the only building up here. Do you remember we are at a higher altitude, but it does give you adults an advantage. You can get a lot drunker for a lot less. Harlan is my upper terminal. He'll let everyone out on the doors opposite side of me. Do want to thank you for heading to the top of Sandia Peak Tram. Just make sure to watch your step when you go to exit. We will have to wait 1 minute for Harlan to open our doors because we are on the same haul cable as the other tram car, and they do dock a couple feet behind us. The last tram car down will be between 8:30 and 9 p.m. You can catch any tram car going down until then, as long as you have your round trip ticket. If you do not have your round trip ticket, you can buy a one-way, or you can take a chance and hike the La Luz down. And for anyone wondering, yes, I can recite that in my sleep. That bump is coming up here quite shortly. Down there.